Sports Illustrated has branded the matchup between Ithaca and Cortland as the biggest little game in the nation, and this Saturday will be the 60th time these two teams have battled it out for the Jug. With an overhauled roster and playing in the toughest conference in all of college basketball, only time will tell if this Orange squad is up to the task of meeting the challenges that most certainly lie ahead. But really though, how special is this Ithaca Bombers offensive unit? Well, special enough that they are on pace now to shatter the 1974 team's record for scoring average. When Ithaca went into the locker room up 38-13, nobody expected a close game. Well, the Cardinals had different plans, pulled within 3 points, and almost pulled off the upset. In sports tonight, Syracuse struggles continue down in the Sunshine State. A season that started with so much hype now seems on the brink of collapse. Dino Babers and the Syracuse football team hitting the road to take on Florida State, SU trying to snap a 2-game slide and pick up their first conference win. Syracuse 0-5 all-time against the Seminoles in Tallahassee. After SU starts the game with a 3-and-out, the Noles march 60 yards in just 5 plays. Cam Akers scampers 23 yards as Florida State takes an early 6-0 lead. Syracuse could only muster up a field goal in the first half. Sophomore Andre Schmidt drills a season-long 50-yarder. Schmidt also missed a 46-yarder later in the quarter. It was the Cam Akers show in Tallahassee, though. Just over a minute to play before the half, Akers scores his 3rd touchdown of the half. Syracuse down 21-3 at the break. After SU tries to start the third with an onside kick, FSU makes them pay. Akers tallies his 4th rushing touchdown on the day. Seminoles rolling up 28-3. Akers finished the day with 171 all-purpose yards. The Orange finally gets rolling in the 4th. Abdul Adams powers in for one of Syracuse's 2 rushing touchdowns on the day, but it wasn't nearly enough. Syracuse drops their 3rd straight, falling 35-17. Syracuse committed 14 penalties and was outgained by 144 yards. SU quarterback Tommy DeVito struggles, continued throwing for only 151 yards and no touchdowns on the day. The Orange will look to snap their 3-game losing streak next Saturday when they host Boston College at noon. With Syracuse football on the road, the SU men's basketball team tipping off their season opener in the Dome against Division II Damon College. Jim Boeheim starting his 44th season as head coach of the Orange. Sports director Stephen Fonte on the radio call for tonight's game. Early in the first half, Elijah Hughes with the nice backdoor cut for the basket and the foul. Hughes had 9 points in just 9 minutes of action in the first half. 6 minutes to play in the first, sophomore Robert Braswell comes off the bench and buries the 3. SU rolling up 47-28 at halftime. Second half action, Hughes and company take over. Hughes to Buddy Boeheim, who dials up long one from distance, 8 points on the night for the coach's kid. A few minutes later, it's Hughes again. Elijah drills the 3 and is fouled. Syracuse pushes the lead to 25. SU continues their attack. Joe Girard goes up top for Robert Braswell, who drops down the 2-hand hammer, 17 on the night for Braswell. Hughes led the way with 24 points on 8 of 11 shooting from the field as he hits the silky smooth jumper. Syracuse cruises in their exhibition opener with a 90-71 win over Damon College.
Overall, they're really good, smart team, really good game for us. I thought we did some things well. We shot the ball well. We rebounded it pretty good. We made some bad turnovers. We weren't quite ready in certain situations, which there's no excuse for that. You know, we have three guards that made 12 turnovers, and that's not going to get it done. So that's something we can work on.
Syracuse will wrap up its exhibition schedule on Tuesday night at the Dome against Carleton University out of Canada. We finish up with the Crunch. Syracuse hosting Rochester at the War Memorial Arena. 6 minutes to play in the third. Alex Barbalet lights the lamp for his 4th of the season. Crunch take a 5-4 lead. However, Syracuse would give up the tying goal with just 12 seconds to play. And then in overtime, the Amerks end it with a goal from the right circle. Crunch pick up a point, but fall in overtime, 7-6 to Rochester. The Crunch are back in action tomorrow night with a home game against Toronto. That's all for sports tonight. The Syracuse Orange men's basketball team was left with a bitter taste in their mouth following a first-round exit in this past NCAA tournament. However, not many are left from last year's group following the departures of 4 players from the starting lineup. And with the addition of 5 new faces, That changes the narrative of this year's squad from a team seeking redemption to a team seeking validation. With so much production to replace, head coach Jim Boeheim expects it will take a considerable amount of time for his guys to figure it all out.
Well, we got a long way to go. We got guys that are not sure what they're doing some of the time, most of the time, and it takes time. It's not going to happen now or next week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks. It's going to take time. We just got to keep plugging away and keep working.
The projected starter at point guard, sophomore Jalen Carey, thinks that toughness will be the backbone of the Orange this year.
Just how tough we are as a team, how we stick together, and, just learning that even if we commit a couple bad plays, we're going to keep playing. We're a good shooting team. We're underdog right now, and we're looking to prove a lot of people wrong.
SU doesn't have the luxury of being able to ease into the regular season as they open up with ACC foe and reigning national champions, the Virginia Cavaliers, next week at the Carrier Dome. One of the few returning players from last season, SU guard Buddy Boeheim, thinks that the Orange will be ready for the challenge.
I think we're ready. I think this week of practice coming into the game will be huge for us, and just making some defensive adjustments. Tonight was a lot better in the zone, and I think we'll get there. And our offense has been really well. I think that will be there come game time. It's just about defense at that point and making sure we have the adjustments all set and ready to go.
With an overhauled roster and playing in the toughest conference in all of college basketball, only time will tell if this Orange squad is up to the task of meeting the challenges that most certainly lie ahead. Reporting for Newswatch from the Carrier Dome, I'm Alex Haessig, ICTV. History in the making. That is the sentiment many get as they watch the Ithaca Bombers' offensive attack in action this season. And the show that the Bombers put on against the Rochester Yellow Jackets on Saturday afternoon may have been their most impressive showing to date. In a 59-0 rout over the Yellow Jackets, Bombers head coach Dan Swanstrom credited the offensive explosion to his team's ability to stay focused on the next play.
Well, right now they're really bought into what we're trying to teach. They're really not letting the play before beat them, and they keep playing. They come back and they try to execute to the best of their ability. And that's something that we've been working really hard on for the past 3 years here. And they're able to pull themselves out and refocus on the next play at hand.
Leading the Ithaca scoring brigade was All-American quarterback Joe Germanario, who thinks that hard work and preparation has been the key for this group's success.
This doesn't happen overnight. Every single guy's preparation starts with the O-line. They did a great job protecting today, and our skill guys just made plays. You saw Mikey, Vito, they doubled Will quite a bit, and our other guys had to get going, which, they responded in a big way.
Really, though, how special is this Ithaca Bombers offensive unit? Well, special enough that they are on pace to score more than the 1974 team who holds the record for scoring average. Through 7 games, this group is averaging just over 47 points per game, roughly 3 points per game ahead of the 1974 squad, who averaged 43.8. Despite being on pace to put themselves in the record books, it is not something that these Bombers are paying attention to.
We don't care about that. We're worried about going 1-0, and we have a huge opponent in Union next week, so that's what we're worried about. We don't care how much we score. We just want to win each game.
With the scoring record within reach, and now only being the 7th team in school history to start at 7-0 or better, these Bombers will continue to etch their name in the history books, it seems like. Reporting for the Gridiron Report from the University of Rochester, I'm Alex Haessig.